Hello there. This is Cookies, and I have turn. What turn is it? 60 something, I think. Turn 70. Never mind, completely wrong. Let's see. We got some gems from Arco, and we cast Fairy Court, so we broken into high air. We got a Spectre. We did a couple of teleports. We got a Wraith Lord. We cast Trade Wind to get a little bit more money. And there were a few fights. Oh, I forgot about this. Okay. This is my current turn as well, so I can actually do something about this. I think you need like 17 PD to stop the plague events. Alright. Okay. We did send a fire mage there, so hopefully we can do that. Got some air gems. Alright, and then there were a few battles this turn, so let's go ahead and catch those. Just killing some PD. I forget. One of these is a big fight, if I remember, but this does not look like that. Some Bandar guys just running away. Their commander probably got assassinated, and that was the only commander in the province. And then in Alkia, we have a very large battle. So we have a bunch of these Centaur Cataphracts with the Dryad Hoplites behind, followed by a bunch of Ice Drakes, another formation of Dryad Hoplites, a whole block of Centaur Sages, with a few Pans mixed in, even stuff like a Circle Master, some Blood Slaves way off in the corner, and all sorts of random animal chaff that's been summoned. We've got Light of the Northern Star put up. On the Patala side, we have what I can only assume to be hundreds of these Bandar warriors, including additional squads out in front to catch evocations, getting some elephants. We got a sprinkling of water elementals. We have a whole bunch of Naga warriors, a large number of yogis that look like they're spaced out one to a spare, one to a square. We've got a few additional mages, a Nagarishi, a Nagini with a Tree Lord staff. Dang. Oh, that must be a bodyguard. We have a Dakini, another Nagarishi, another Nagini. Oh, the Golden Naga with this kit. So, all sorts of cool stuff back here. Yeah, Cloud Mage Communion Master, classic. Probably putting up something like Fog Warriors. Let's see if the kits on some of these hands. Yeah, a little bit. Oh, interesting. Some air jumps. Alright. So let's go ahead and check out these fireworks. Alright, let's take a look at all the spells that have gone off. So we had a big mass flight attack rear. The ice drakes are fighting themselves, it looks like. We should probably turn on team color squares. So some of them have been stolen. And then somehow some of these guys got it into the back of the formation, I'm assuming. Yeah, somehow they got back there. Maybe also a mass flight. So in terms of battlefield enchantments, we have Wailing Winds by the Dakini, Heat from Hell by the Golden Naga, Relief from the Guru, Hal from the Pan. So that's our first battlefield enchantment from this side. Relief from a Pan, also from this side. Howl from a Nagini, so both sides have Howl up, both sides have Relief up. And Light of the Northern Star from a Nagarishi. Additionally, we can take a look at some of the buffs. So one of these Naga warriors. So we've painted. We've seen all the resistances get painted. Not as sure about a protection buff, but definitely anti-magic. We've also got Fog Warriors, we have Will of the Fates, we have Arrowfend, Mass Flight. Oh, sorry about that. Are all these guys cursed? Alright. So Pan has cast Doom, it looks like, because the whole Patala army has been cursed. They might have started that way, I don't remember. But for Pan, what do we have? The same Will of the Fates, some Body Ethereal painted, Arrowfend, also anti-magic, no protection buff. Interesting that neither side has done a protection buff yet, from what I can tell. In terms of the Centaur Sages, let me see if I can find one that's not a master. Are they all masters? Only 11? Oh, they're gonna burn that out quick. There we go. Alright, so on these guys, we've got Regen, Temper Flesh, Liquid Body as well. Some Reinvig, Body Ethereal, Arrowfend, couple of the resistances, but not cold. Unless they had some sort of vulnerability. Additionally, yeah, no protection buff. So I think that's most of it. Alright. So it does look like Patala's cast a heftier suite of buffs. This does look like the more precarious side of the field. Oh, and don't forget Life After Death. Patala put that one up as well, I believe. That one's a little bit harder to see. We do have some of these Silvers walking across the field. Ooh, big gifts from heaven. Alright, reinforcements starting to fly in. And importantly, this whole line of Naga warriors is preventing these Centaur Sages from escaping, for the most part. Okay, you can see they're routed. Is this also a pan? Okay, so pan could also have life after death. Here come the Bandar warriors. A couple of the sages getting away, but not very many. What a cool battle. Alright. So Patala lost 54 mages, but they turned into Solus, it looks like. So it looks like they've only actually lost 2 mages. Additionally, because they stole so much stuff, and a lot of their stuff got turned into Solus, they actually only lost about 40 troops as well. So where did those some of the Bandar warriors and some of the Naga warriors. So all in all, not too bad. Just probably cost a lot of gems for Patala, but it was a definite win. Let's see, Patala brought looks like a little bit more magic diversity. This guy is pretty cool. The passing troll hero. I think I've looked at that before. And so, was it 69, 71, 5, 86? So about 92 mages, if I counted this up right. Dueling off with something like 70 or no 68 mages perhaps. I don't know. Oh, this guy must have been stolen from Raga at some point. Uh, yeah, but yeah, just an absolute stomp by Patala, kind of showing how late game fights can be when one side's able to just has more magic diversity available to paint more buffs. But still a really cool fight. Well played to Pan. I think they've still got one fort left, but they're pretty much they're. This is the last army they had to play with, so they're basically out of the game. Because if we take a look here, we have just this one Pan fort. We've got 2 Patala armies, so probably won't take them long to come in and seize this fort. Additionally, all right, so that was the cool battle for the turn. In terms of diplomacy, our nap tick down with Calum is continuing. However, through some additional diplomatic warnings and stuff, Calum was nice enough to let everyone know, and based on their posturing, we could assume they're planning a throne rush, and now they're planning to act on the throne rush, and they're not going to wait for all the nap cooldowns to expire. They're going to go now. So we will be sending in attack orders this turn. So we've got a couple of smaller raids coming in, just testing what's there for the PD. We're moving out some armies. So we've got this army coming in. So we've got some evocation bait that I almost forgot to add. And then we have a block of mages. Not the biggest block of mages. I think the Patala Pan fight fielded more mages by a long shot, like both armies, than this. I want to say this has what do we have? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, about 30 mages here, if I had to guess. So, nowhere, but maybe if it were twice as big, it could probably be on par with that Pangea army that just got wiped. And if it were maybe 3 times as big, it could be on par with the Patala army. We do have, I think, 3 of the armies, though. So we have this big army on the throne with about 300 troops and a bunch of mages. Not all the mages. It's, what is it, 6 times... So 37. So close to 40 mages, or yeah, yeah, getting close to 40 mages, probably about 30, 38 mages here. So if we combine, so this army is going to come here and then here and here, and then maybe we'll have that kind of army walking around. We also have this army moving and patrolling onto the cap. So this is another, I don't know, like 20, 24, like 29 mages. Again, just another communion setup. These armies feel super mid-game, and we're definitely getting into the late game. So I'm not sure if I'd feel comfortable advancing these armies into the enemy, but we are doing a bunch of communion master and slave mind spam. So if somebody does show up and try to run like a Wind of Death trap, there's a decent chance they're not going to make it back out because they might get stolen. In this army, the turn 1 option, because the other army has more like a turn 2 option. This army's got a turn 1 option. There's a number of Pillar of Fire casters. This army is also painting the most buffs, and it's the army that got the resist gear and the morale gear. So a lot of the key casters have some sort of like Demon Bane and Dragon Helmet type of situation. So yeah. See, Army of Lead here. Thought it was interesting that I didn't see any, at least through most of that, I didn't see any big protection buffs. Maybe they just don't think it's needed if they're painting weapons of sharpness pretty well. I don't quite have enough Earth 2 mages to... Well, so here's the thing. They lose their feet slot when they go underwater. I don't have the ability... I'm just now getting the ability to do bloodstones. And that would be my ability to paint weapons of sharpness. Because I could give a bloodstone, they won't drop that. And then I'll have an E3, which can earth power to E4, and then it can use the temp gem from the bloodstone to do like a weapons of sharpness. So otherwise I have to do it through communion. Just a drawback of the merman chassis, where you lose your feet slots underwater. And in this particular war, it's a little bit of a diagonal. And so we either have to go across this river or we have to go underwater. And generally I'm going to want to go through the water because the water is safer. I've got forts there. It's also not filled with a disease site. So yeah, so that's what I'm doing about it. Also doing, I think, a couple of small magic phase raids. So we're doing a Flames from the Sky on this province. Try to kill the iron crafters and stop production. Although there's more. At least slow down production. Also doing a Cloud Trapeze raid into 167. Alright, we're sending a couple of air mages here so that they can gem bait here. And then I think we're sending a couple of air mages to try and lock down a fort. So these guys are going on Joman. So they're gonna see if they can lock down this fort. And I think I have like an arouse hunger hitting on this fort. So we'll see if I can start locking down this area. Now, Ulm did not start their nap countdown timer with Calum. It doesn't matter. Calum's going to violate that nap. So Calum has a big army here, and it looks like it's going to go here. Although it could 2-turn move up to here, but this seems like the logical move. It's 2 away, and it's lightly defended from what I've seen. Also, this army is planning to go here onto this Satist throne. This army is planning to go on this Satist throne. And I believe there's another large army here. It's planning to go on this Ulmish throne, which unfortunately the Citadel got stopped by a troll raid. So he has new troll PD that's done a lot of damage to his fort, and he didn't get to finish his Citadel yet. So that's unfortunate. And then I think there was a threat towards maybe these 2 thrones. So from what I've heard, Arco's going after 5. So he's going after this 1, 2, 3 with this army. 4. Wait, did I count that one twice? Let's see, yeah. 1, 2, 3. Or no, he already owns that one. 3, 4. And I think he's going after an Arco throne. So probably 5 here. He did mention to me that he's not planning to go after my underwater one. I'm not sure if I completely believe it. But I do think we can put up a tough defense. And a lot of the Calum tricks are not going to work underwater. So I think that would be a tough fight for him to try and win. There are some things I think he could do to really mess me up, but we'll have to just see. And yeah, so I think that's what's happening. It was a big Diplo update. Everyone finding out that their nap tick down was gonna be happening a lot faster than what they thought, due to the nap cooldown becoming a nap break. But yeah, we'll have to see if we can defend. Rumor is Ulm's probably going to lose his 2, which means I think we have to defend 2 out of the remaining 3 to prevent a win, because he has 3. See, I have this one. So he has 6. So he needs 3. So he needs 8 to win. He has 3, so he needs 5. Unless there's one that he hasn't taken. Maybe. He might have one that he just hasn't seized yet. I don't know, as part of like man. Oh, I don't see any man flags on here. I don't know, maybe he does need 5. I kept hearing 4 in the coalition chat. But regardless, yeah, we're gonna, because Ulm's probably gonna lose his 2. Now, he should be able to recapture. It just might take him a few turns. But because Ulm's going to lose his 2, we have to be really on point defending the other ones. And I can't necessarily let my guard down too much in my last one. I could try to put this one under threat, although I think I can really only raid it. I just don't have the mage support to support 250 troops. So maybe I should have thought about that more and just brought more mages down here, but I was trying to hit research targets. So, yeah, just kind of unfortunate. I feel like I can't properly use all the troops in this garrison. These 250 troops, I would have liked to have, I don't know, 20 to 30 mages for them. So, yeah, hopefully I'm at least recruiting some stuff in the area. And I'm just assuming this is going to go under siege, although I am bringing in a little bit of stuff, like a Wraith Lord. Who else is patrolling? Yeah. So, yeah, it should be fun. It might mean the game ends early if we can't defend from these giant stacks very well. So if he pulls it off, it'll be a really cool throne rush, even if he did have to nap break. And if we manage to defend it, then there is a lot of bird territory up for grabs. And we'll have to see how much of that we can get, given Satis and Arco have a lot more siege strength than I do, and Ulm as well. But it would be nice to get at least some of these like coastal forts, maybe this throne. So like if I could get this, then I could connect this fort. You know, just different stuff like that would be nice. So yeah, I think that's most of the turn. In terms of recruitment, this is about as far north as we get before we run out of money. So here's some more. Don't think we're recruiting there. Recruiting here, recruiting here, recruiting here. I think we've stopped there. But yeah, should be a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun chatting with the other players. Curious to see if Caleb can pull it off. He's been preparing for it for a long time, so it should be interesting. Here's the global situation. And in terms of some score graphs, we're looking a little low compared to the other players. However, Arco and I do have that shared wish farm. So I do think we're 1 and 2 respectively. Because I think for me it's like an extra 100 gems a turn. In terms of research, it started slowing down because we're mobilizing mages. But I would say we're mostly done. There's not a whole lot that we can really make use of. A whole lot more. You can see our army graph is climbing, getting ready for this. Look at that Calum graph, though. Woo! This was a long time ago, too. So, should be really interesting. Should be a lot of fun. Oh, I guess another thing that we're doing a few empowerments, so we're empowering this guy in blood again. I think if we do one more with him, or we find some way to get a blood booster, then we can get vampires. So this guy's going to be our ticket into vampires. And then, let's see, this guy's empowering in blood as well to get us bloodstones. This guy is for the nature blood booster. And the last empowerment we're doing is this lady. We're empowering in astral. And that's just because Arco, if we ever fight Arco, Arco's going to probably wish our pretender to die. So I want my wish caster, if I can empower to get one over the next few turns, I would like it to be the like a Hesperide, so a non-hero, non-pretender chassis, so it can't get whooshed away, and it can't get whooshed to death. So that's kind of the idea there. This is our highest recruited astral that we have available, are these Hesperides. So, and this is one I'm already trying to keep safe, so I'll go ahead and empower this one. And hopefully we can start our own whoosh farm that's not dependent on Arca. And that'll give us it'll be less efficient, but it'll give us a lot more freedom of diplomacy. So that's kind of the idea there. And I think that's it. I think we've covered everything, at least that I'm aware of. So I'll go ahead and see you in turn 71, which for me is probably going to be about a week from now when I record again, because we've only covered one turn this week. It's just been a really busy turn in terms of all the players finding out this Diplo stuff and then wanting extensions so that they had time to script properly. So it's been a fairly slow week. So I've only done 2 turns this week, but there's been a lot of action, so to speak, so it's been fun. Anyways, have a good one. I'll see you next time.